Hi guys, it's me again, and if you did not watch the ELA video today, I just have to tell you, Mrs. Schmidt has an upset gallbladder, which means she has a pain in her abdomen, and she's using a heating pad and some medicine to get better. And so I'm sorry I'm on my own again today, but I want to make sure we get our videos out for you every day so you can keep up with your packet. I know many of you are probably already finished, but I still want to keep in contact with you guys every day. And Maggie's here with me. She joined me during the last video. She's on the floor. That's our dog, for those of you who don't know. One of our dogs. May 20th math. Using parentheses, worksheet 2. Okay, use the explanation and examples provided to solve numbers 1 through 16. Optional. Okay, so this means you don't have to do it, but you can if you want to try to increase your math power. Use a calculator to solve numbers 17 to 24. If you know how to do it without a calculator, awesome, do it without a calculator. Okay, so this first paper is telling you about Pemdas, or the order of operations, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Simple step-by-step lesson. Now the problem is, this page is wrong. And I tested it. I saw what they did wrong, and when we get to that, I'll show you. So it says solve the quantity of 8 divided by 2 in parentheses times 6 and then minus 4 plus 9. So here it says when you're getting dressed to confront cold weather, you'll always get dressed in a specific order to stay as warm as possible. We would get dressed in this order. Thermal shirt, number 1, thermal shirt and pants. Number 2, snow pants. Number 3, gloves. Okay, I think I would put my jacket on before I put my gloves on, but that's fine. Number 4, jacket. Number 5, scarf. Number 6, hat. Number 7, boots. I think gloves would be one of the last things I'd put on, so I would disagree with this order. But okay, whatever. You wouldn't put your boots on first, otherwise you couldn't get your thermal pants or snow pants on. Now, I'm just thinking the gloves would make it hard to manipulate everything, right? If you put on gloves and then you try to zip your jacket or button it, that would be more difficult. Scarf, okay. Hat, and then boots. I think boots would be easier to get on without gloves on your hands first. Okay, so anyway, that I'm pointing that out because the order of operations are also totally something I disagree with. Let's check it out. All right, the same concept applies to math. When confronted with problems that have multiple operations, addition, division, multiplication, or subtraction, with can process the problem. I think it should say we there, so let's change that. Okay, so we already have an indication we're going to have trouble. We can process the problem with the help of the acronym Pemdas, P-E-M-D-A-S. Okay, so they say the P stands for parentheses and brackets. Okay, and yesterday we also talked about braces. Okay, or curly braces. E stands for exponents or roots. Okay, exponents or roots. M stands for multiplication, multiply, right? And then left to right, divide. Now here they say if you have to choose between these operations, process them left to right. So just do multiplication and or division as you read the problem from left to right. Now here they say addition is a separate step. Notice over here, they say that'll be the third step. After step 1, step 2, they say here step 3. Well, is it step? I don't know why. 1, okay, they're saying 1 is parentheses. So they're saying there is no, I don't know. I'm lost with their arrows. And let me explain why. Okay, 3, 4, 5. They have addition and subtraction as separate steps. Now, what do we know about multiplication and division? We know that they're called inverse operations, and that's why You just do them in the order that they occur when you're reading the problem, left to right. Okay, so I think on camera I would be on the left here and then go over to the right. Okay, they should also say that for these two steps. These two steps are actually one step that you do together the same way that you do for multiplication and division. And it's really puzzling to me why they grouped multiplication and division, inverse operations, but they did not group addition and subtraction. You have to group those two together also. They are inverse operations, and you do them in order from left to right. Right? Where if you see addition first, you do that first. If you see subtraction first, do that first. It doesn't matter. So you have really three groups. You have the parentheses group, brackets, braces. You have the exponents or roots group. You have multiplication, division. Okay, there's four groups, right? And then here's a group. This is supposed to be a group too. Okay. Now, if that looks confusing, fear not. I fixed it down below. I just wanted you guys to see that this is an incorrect answer they have. Okay, and let's prove it. So here's my chart. I took their chart, right, and I fixed it, okay? Because you would do addition and subtraction left to right in the same step, right? So here's a step, parentheses and brackets, or and braces. Step 2, exponents, roots. Step 3, multiply, divide. Step 4, add, subtract. Okay? Ignore these things that they have here because they're mostly wrong. And that's why I drew this arrow here. If you have to choose between these operations, multiply, divide, add, subtract, then process them left to right as they happen in the problem. Okay, let's go down and check it. Let's see what they did. Step 1, no problem. They said, okay, 8 divided by 2 equals what? They said, okay, that equals 4. That's the first step, parentheses. Step 2, there are no exponents. That's true. So they skipped the E in Pemdas. They did not do any, they did not solve exponents or roots because there were none. Step 3, multiplication. Now, it's sad to me they left out the word division, right? This should be multiplication or division, whichever occurs. They're not talking about this division, and why not? That's because it's in parentheses, so we had to do that first, right? That was not part of the multiplication division step. Take a drink. Okay, but they should have listed this word here, division, right? Multiply, divide. Here they multiply 4 times 6. And they get 24. There's no more multiplication or division, so that's their step 2. Let's go down. Step 4. Now these two should be combined, but they did not do it, and this is what's going to cause them a huge problem. They have that you add 4 plus 9 first, right? They're skipping the subtraction, and they're doing 4 plus 9 first. Well, that's totally going to change this problem, because they're going to add this together and get 13. And then they're going to take 24 and subtract 13, so they're going to say the answer is 11. And that's where things go wrong. 11 is your final answer, they say. No, it is not. 11 is not the final answer. And you're thinking, well, Mr. Schmidt, it says that it is the right answer. Okay, just bear with me. I typed it in Google to make sure that I wasn't thinking of things wrong. Okay, so here we have, this stands for 8 divided by 2. Okay, 8/2 is the same thing as 8 over 2. And remember we said 8, the numerator is 8. This stands for division, right? 8 divided by 2. So that's what's represented right there. So that would be 4. And here you would have 4 times 6, right? They added these parentheses around that. I didn't do that. Google did it after I typed in the problem. So this would be 4 times 6. Now it says, okay, I think they added these parentheses to say, okay, solve that next. That's 24. Okay, now we would do this subtraction step because we do addition and subtraction left to right, just the way we do multiplication and division. They go together. They're inverse operations, and they stick together. You do them at the same time as you read the problem left to right. Okay, so subtract 4, what would we have? We would have 20. Now we would have to add 9. And then we would have 29. Notice how different that is from their answer that says 11. Okay, Mr. Schmidt, but I still don't believe you because that didn't look the same. Okay, bear with me. I checked it on Microsoft's math solver. Okay, and here you can see exactly, I typed it in exactly the same way. Let's check it. 8 divided by 2 in parentheses. Let's go up. 8 divided by 2 in parentheses. All right. Times 6. Let's see. Does it say times 6? Times 6. Yes. Minus 4. Does it say that? Minus 4. Yes. Plus 9. Plus 9. Okay. So the problem's typed in correctly. Fortunately, Microsoft didn't even change it the way Google did. I mean, not that Google did it wrong, but Microsoft wants you to be able to see your original equation. So that's cool. And honestly, I didn't even know about this math solver with Microsoft until I looked up different ways to show you guys how to do this. So what do you think their answer was? 29. The same as Google's answer. Was the answer 11? No. Okay, but it's cool because this even shows you the steps, and I added a chart over here. I can see that's a little off, so let me get this over so you can see the chart. I made this chart for you, okay? So let's look at their steps. They do parentheses first. They said solution steps, divide 8 by 2 to get 4. So they're doing the parentheses first, right? So now it says multiply 4 and 6 to get 24. Why didn't they do any division here? Because there was no division left. Where did this 4 come from? It came from the 8 divided by 2. That's now a 4. And now they do the multiplication because there were no exponents, right? We don't need to do that step. There are no exponents. And if you guys are, I don't know how many of you know what an exponent is, but if, for example, we had 3 raised to the second power or 3 squared, we would multiply those 2 3's together. That's what this is. This is 2 3's multiplied together. And that would equal 9. So if we saw this in the problem, we would do that. Anyway, in this problem, there are no exponents, so we're not worried about that. So now we go down to this step where we multiply and divide. Let me scroll it down just a little bit. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Okay. All right, so we're on step 3, multiply and divide left to right. Multiply 4 times 6, and you would get 24. So now I would rewrite my equation and say, okay, this is now a 24, and I still have this minus 4 and the plus 9. Now look what Microsoft says. They say, okay, now subtract 4 from 24 to get 20. Well, isn't that what we did up here? Subtract 4 from 24 to get 20? Yep, we did that. Okay, so we're following the rules. And we get 20. Now the 24 is no longer 24, it's a 20. And the 4 is no longer there because we already subtracted it. And we got 20 there. Now the last step, add 20 and 9 to get 29. And that is our final answer. Step 4, add and subtract left to right. Do those together. It's really disappointing to me that they presented that to you so incorrectly, but if you're watching this, you found out how to do it the right way. And so now let me talk about Pemdas. Please excuse my dear, notice how these are in the same box, Aunt Sally. Okay, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, those go together, right? You do them left to right as you look through the problem. Add, subtract, left to right as you read the problem, okay? Do not separate addition and subtraction into 2 different steps. They're the same step. You just read the problem left to right, all right? Thank you. Okay, let's go down and see what we have to do now. Okay, so now it says using parentheses, worksheet 2. Work out these complex calculations. All right, I'll do a few of them with you. I mean, here, and this is optional, remember in the instructions, up here, let's look at the instructions. It says use a calculator to solve, and it says those problems are optional. So you don't even have to do them all. If you want to, that's awesome. I'm glad you're a hard worker and you want to do them. Okay, so remember, pause it and unpause it when you want to see if we agree on our answers. Ready? Okay, I'm going to let you pause. Okay, you're back? Okay. Okay, 2 plus 3. We do parentheses first, right? Order of operations. And let's write our acronym here. Parentheses, exponents or roots. We're not going to have those either. Okay, multiply, divide. Remember, these go together. You just do them left to right. And then add, subtract. Those go together. I'm just leaving it there so I can remember and remind myself. So parentheses first. What's 2 plus 3? 5. What's 5 times 10? 50. Okay, let's do another one. 9 plus 6. Well, in my mind, I say, okay, I have 9. If I take one of these off, I'd have a 10 here. Then I would have a 10 plus 5. And that's a lot easier to figure out, right? Just take one of these off and add it to the 9. I have 10. Now that's 10 plus 5. What is that? 15. What's 15 times 3? Here I always think about a clock, 15-minute time periods. There are 4 15-minute time periods in 1 hour, and 3 of those would be 45. Another way to think of it is what are 3 10s? 30. What are 3 5s? 15. What's 30 plus 15? 45. Okay. All right, let me see. Do I see any difficult ones here? What do you guys think I should do first? Well, let's go down to the bottom. Yeah, we have a couple juicy ones down here. I like those. Ooh, we have 96 divided by 12. 96 divided by 12. Can I think of anything that I could multiply times 6 and get a 96? Or, I'm sorry, multiply times a 12? 6 times 2 would be 12, and that'd be a 1. Nope, it's not going to be that. Okay, so what do you want to do? Want to write out a long division problem? 8 times 6, let's see. I'm thinking. Let's pause. So using my multiplication chart, I can see that 8 times 12, I don't think I can write on this, yeah. 8 times 12 equals 96, or 12 times 8 equals 96. 8 times 12 is 96. 12 times 8 is 96. So let's shrink that. So we know that this should simplify itself to 8, right? 12 times 8 is 96. All right, so these parentheses simplify to 8. Now we have times, and then we have this parentheses here that we need to solve. 72 divided by 9. Again, that'll be 8. Right? Because 8 times 9 is 72, and 9 times 8 is 72. All right, so now we finally have number 15, 8 times 8. We need to solve that part. What is 8 times 8? 64. Good job. Okay. What about number 16? Ooh, what about number 14? That's a good one. What's 8 times 8? We just solved it. 64. Okay, parentheses. 90 divided by 5. Let's see. 90 divided by 5. Well, let me see. Okay, so in my head, I know that 90 is 2 times 45. Okay, so how many times does 5 go into 45? 9 times. What if I had 2 of those then? Well, that would be 18 times. So this should be 18. Let's check it. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 plus 40 is 90, so 18 would be correct. Now we have to add those together. 8 plus 4, 12. Okay, 60 plus 10. Let me write it out. Let me write it over here. I don't want to do everything in my head and make people get messed up. Okay, so let's add those together. We have 12, right? And then we have 1 10, 6 tens, and 1 10, 8 tens. So this is 82. Cool. So remember, just do parentheses first, and then multiply, divide, then add, subtract. And I think you guys should be able to handle the rest of those, right? Let me see. Are there any other hard ones? What about this one, guys? Do you think this one would be hard? Let's check. We know that that would be 25. 5 times 5 is 25. 3 plus 2 is 5. So this is just 25 divided by 5, and we know that that's 5. Right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just remember your chart. If you can't use that chart, let's go up. Let's go up. Come on. Where's my mouse? There we go. Remember the order of operations. Do the parentheses first, exponents next, and you guys today won't even have to worry about exponents, so we can even cross that off. Alright, multiply and divide, left to right. Add, subtract, left to right. Remember, multiplication and division go at the same time. You start on the left and you move over to the right, doing multiplication and division as you come to them. Unless it's in parentheses, then you would have to do that first. Right? Whatever's in parentheses, you do that first. Then you see, okay, what's outside parentheses? Multiply, divide, and then add, subtract. Okay. Now, calculator challenges. They want you to type these into the calculator. What would you type in first on number 17? Well, Mr. Schmidt, let's show them. Okay, Maggie's saying let's show them. Okay, so we have in parentheses 1.5. So let's do 1 and 5 tenths. Now we have to add 6 and 5 tenths. I forgot to press add. Let's all clear. Let's clear. Okay, let's start over. 1 and 5 tenths. Maggie's laughing at me. We have to add 6 and 5 tenths. Okay, let's see what that equals. That's 8. Okay, now let's add the 9 and 4 tenths. Right? We had to do parentheses first. Now we're going to add 9 and 4 tenths. Plus 9 and 4 tenths equals. So according to the calculator, that would be 17 and 4 tenths. Cool. So just do whatever's in parentheses first. You may have to take notes, right? Maybe you'll need to do part of it first. Let's see. Maybe you'd have to do this problem on your calculator, then do this problem on your calculator. This is just subtraction, right? So this is pretty easy even without a calculator. 9. And we would subtract 4 tenths, so this would be 9 and 4 tenths. Then we would have to add, what's 6 plus 8, guys? 14, right? So that's 14 tenths, which is also 1 and 4 tenths, right? So we would have, let's see, 1 and 4 tenths here, and then 1 there and 1 there. So we would have 3 and 4 tenths. Well, Mr. Schmidt, I don't believe you. Okay, I don't believe me either. Let's check. Okay, no, I think that's right, but let's check it anyway. Make sure I'm still in the video. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's type it. 1 and 6 tenths. And then we have to add, right? We have to add 1 and 8 tenths. 1 and 8 tenths. And what does that equal? That's 3 and 4 tenths. That's what we got. We know that we also have to add 9 and 4 tenths, so let's do that. It doesn't matter if I add backwards, right? Subtract, you cannot subtract backwards, but I can add backwards. Okay, 9 and 4 tenths. 9 and 4 tenths equals 12 and 8 tenths. Cool. And I knew that already because 9 plus 3 is 12. And 4 tenths plus 4 tenths is 8 tenths. So it's 12 and 8 tenths. Didn't even need the calculator for that part. Alright, so if you want to do that, you can do that. Let's check the bottom. Because the bottom says, put these calculations in order from smallest to largest. How would you do that? You have to solve them first. Alright, and then they leave blanks down here. And I don't know if this is optional or not, because in the top part, it said, well, there were no decimals in the top, right? But there are decimals in these calculator problems. Let's just, what do you think? You guys want to solve it? Pause it and see if you can put them in order, and then unpause it and see if we agree. Okay? Good. I'll wait for you to pause it. Okay, unpause. Okay, so let's check. We have 0 and 5/10, and we have multiply that times 1 and 5/10. Yeesh. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to write the 1 and 5/10 on top because multiplication, it doesn't matter which way I put the factors. Commutative property of multiplication says it doesn't matter which way I multiply them. Okay, so I have 5 times 5, right? That's 25. I have 5 times 1, that's 5, and I have to add 2, so that'll be 7. I have 2 decimal places here, so I need 2 decimal places here. Okay. All right. Does this make sense? Well, I know that 5/10 is half, so if I took half of $1.50, would I get 75 cents? Yep, I would. So this answer makes sense. Okay. So I know that this answer so far is 0 and 75 hundredths. And now I have to add 6 and 6/10 to that. So let's do that step. 6, keep my decimals lined up when I'm adding. 6 and 6/10. So here I have a placeholder 0. I have 5 hundredths plus nothing, that's still 5 hundredths. I have 7 plus 6/10, 7/10, 6/10, 13/10, which is 1, and 3/10. Decimal stays there. I have 1 whole plus 6 wholes, and that is 7. So this would be 7 and 35 hundredths. Okay. Well, this one's easier, right? This one I just have to add those two amounts. Well, what's 4/10 plus 1/10? 5/10. What's 4 wholes plus 1 whole? 5 wholes. So this is 5 and 5/10. Now I have to multiply that times 10. Well, that's pretty easy. How do I multiply a decimal times 10? I increase its value times 10. So I move this decimal place to the right side of this digit. All right, I move it 1 digit over. So this would be 55, and that makes sense. Think about it. 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 10 is 50. And this is 1/2. 5/10 is 1/2 if I made it a fraction. What's half of 10? 5. So this answer makes sense, 55. So far, this answer is far larger than this answer. Okay, what about this one? I just have to add 3. Well, what's 4 wholes plus 3 wholes? 7 wholes. Then I have 9/10. And now I have to multiply times 7. Okay, let's do that. 7 and 9/10 times 7. 7 wholes, right? I'm just double checking. Okay. All right, 7 times 9. What is it? 63. Okay. 63, right? 3 and regroup the 6. Okay, 7 times 7 equals 49. Then I still have to add that 6. 49 plus 6. 49, if I took one of those, that'd be 50, so it'd be 55. So 55 would go here. And then I have 1 decimal place. So I need 1 decimal place here. 55 and 3/10. 55 and 3/10. Okay. Now, which one's the greatest? Oh, which one's the smallest? This one. All right, they want the smallest one first. So it says put these calculations in order. 6.6 or 6 and 6/10 plus 0 and 5/10 times 1 and 5/10. Right? That's the first calculation, and that's why these blanks are so big. They wanted us to write these out. I don't know why. Okay, smallest answer would be this one, right? 7 and 35 hundredths. Okay, and now we know that this one would be next because this answer is just 3/10 larger, so they're really close, but this one's a little bit larger. So this one would go next. 4 and 4/10 plus 1 and 1/10 in parentheses times 10. Second answer. Okay, and the final answer, begin parentheses 4 and 9/10 plus 3 times 7. And we know what that equals. It equals 55 and 3/10. And guys, I believe that's it for today. 30-minute video with a little extra for the music that'll we'll add on at the end. Okay, guys. Hopefully, Mrs. Schmidt will be back tomorrow. He's on her side. She says goodbye, and we love you. See you tomorrow.